For many families, it's a holiday tradition. You look forward to finding the perfect board game to gift your family come Christmas morning and then play it all break long. But with so many games to pick from, it can be overwhelming narrowing your search down to just that one. So today we are sharing solid recommendations on this year's best board games guaranteed to bring fun to family night. Our next guest knows a good game when he sees one. Jeff Beck is with Grandpa Beck's Games, the company behind popular family games like Skull King and Cover Your Assets, my family's new favorite. What is your personal criteria? You're the guy that helps make the games that we love. What is your personal criteria, Jeff, for a good game?
You know, I don't know that it really even matters what game you choose. The point of gaming is to bring people together, have conversations, and be able to insult each other a little bit around the table, right?
So a good game brings out all of that.
Yeah, and I had the hardest time narrowing down my choices to 6 games because there are hundreds of amazing titles that are released every year.
Yeah.
But these are 6 that are really hot this year.
Can we get these in time for Christmas?
I specifically chose games that I could find locally.
Okay.
So I had a different list originally, and I had to change a couple because they weren't available. So
Sure.
I wanted to go into game stores and find out which ones are actually in stock at some of our local game stores.
All right, let's start with the first one on your list. How do you say this? Disney?
Lorcana.
Lorcana.
Yes. So Disney Lorcana is probably the hottest new game release of the decade.
Of the decade?
Of the decade. This is almost impossible to get, and one of the reasons I brought this one in is that Red Balloon Toy Stores just got a major shipment.
Okay.
And if you're watching the show on Thursday, you can head over to Red Balloon and you know that they're going to have some in stock because they're going to be stocking it that day.
Let me tell you something about the Studio 5 community. They're going to be gone in about 30 minutes. What do you like about this game?
So Disney Lorcana is a collectible trading card game. So kind of like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, but it's focused on all of the different characters in the Disney universe.
Oh.
So your goal is to collect lore by playing cards and kind of battling against another player. And there are going to be eventually thousands of cards of all the different characters from every classic and new Disney movie, and ton of strategy and a lot of replayability. So you can buy.
This is collectible.
Yep, you can buy a starter pack. This gives you a deck that you can play with right out of the box. You can also buy additional packs of cards to then modify and change your deck for your strategy.
Is it a sit-down contained game?
It is a sit-down contained game, yep. So you're gonna play. I think it's with 2 or more players, but you sit down and you play your cards against an opponent, and you're trying to win.
Okay,
So.
all right. But then collect as you go, expand your game.
Exactly.
Listen,
yes.
you give Disney lovers a good collection. They'll be all over it. Wandering Towers made your list.
So Wandering Towers is a really fun one for kids that are a little bit older, maybe like 8 or actually both of these are good for like 8 to 10-year-olds plus.
Okay.
In Wandering Towers, your goal is to move your characters all the way to the end of this map. And it's really clever the way that it works. You're going to have different cards that you get to play from your hand, and you can either move the characters by themselves, or you can move the tower. So, for example, I can move my blue character like 3 spaces up, 1, 2, 3. Or if I had these 2 blue characters on the tower, I could move that entire tower by playing a different card and stack it on top of another tower.
Oh,
and if it's
fun.
on top of another tower that has someone else's characters in
block
there,
them.
I block them until they move that tower and move their own characters. So you're racing all of the characters around the map and trying to be the first to get all of yours to the black tower.
I have mostly little kids, but we're just getting of age where they can start to play these games, and watching their brains figure that out is the best.
It's
you know what
really
I mean?
Fun,
when their eyes are dancing. Okay, Honey Buzz.
Honey Buzz. This one is a good selection for a family that really likes a long, drawn-out, complex, high-strategy board game.
Thanks for the warning.
So this is good for your more advanced game players. That's my choice for them. And it's an adorable theme that's based on bees and bears and honey. And essentially, bees have learned about the economy and that they can sell their honey for money, and you're going to play the role of a worker bee that is doing different tasks in order to gain honey and then sell it to bears and other characters.
Okay.
And it's a long form game. It's going to take you like 45 to 90 minutes to play it, so it's a good like full evening game.
Okay.
But for 1 to 4 players, 10 plus, this is a wonderful strategy game with a really beautiful theme and wonderful artwork.
Age 10 and up?
Ages 10 and up, yep.
All right, Teeter Tower.
All right, this game has been the bane of my existence this morning. I think I've knocked over this tower 4 times.
Is that who was yelling during the earlier conversations?
Yes, thank you so much to your assistant for helping me set this up as I continually knocked it down. It's great. So Teetering Tower is a fun one in that it is a cooperative game, meaning that everyone that plays it either wins or loses together.
Okay.
So if you have a kid in your family that's struggling with learning to win. This is a good place to start. I do think the competitive games are good for all families, though, because you want your kids to learn how to win and lose gracefully in your own home, so you can correct them and help them and learn. Right?
So much learning happens. Yeah.
However, this one is cooperative, and it's kind of like Jenga in reverse is the easy way to think about it.
Okay.
Instead of taking the tower apart, you're actually building it together. So you're going to draw dice out of a bag, and you're going to roll them, and you can either place the dice on a spot that matches the color, or on a spot that matches the number of it.
Oh, clever, Jeff.
And then each time that you add the dice on there, you're also going to finish your turn by capping it with a new card.
Okay.
And the tricky thing is you lose two ways, either if you knock the tower over or if you run out of dice. So you can't put like 4 dice on every single level, which would make it easier.
Yeah.
You have to be strategic
about where you put,
I'm gonna let you go ahead and put these two on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm in the
so
hopes
if
that
I
we
did
get
a 2, and I'm cheating here, but let's say I did a 4. Where's my 4?
There's your 4, and then you have to put another card on top.
And then a card on top.
And then
there
somewhere to like bump that table.
It's wobbling. Yeah, right. Okay.
I forced that a little bit there.
Competitive, taking over. Skull made your list.
Skull made my list. Honestly, part of the reason I love this game is it's just really beautiful, and that's okay. Sometimes
it is lovely.
you own games because they're gorgeous.
That's interesting. That's sometimes why we buy beauty products, is because they're in a pretty packaging.
Is. I mean, I think people have kind of taken to board games from, a lot of people read books digitally or listen to them. Yeah. People like to have a pretty display of board games on their
all right. Fun to play too?
Fun to play as well, yes. It meets both qualifications of being beautiful and really fun. So this is a bluffing game. Every character, or every player has 4 cards, 3 with a flower and 1 with a skull. And you're gonna put 1 out on your table, choosing without anyone else knowing. And then other players have to guess whether you put out your flower or your skull.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they're gonna point to as many as they think are flowers and make them flip over. And then if they're wrong, you lose a tile, and it's a really, really fun, simple concept.
Almost out of time, but we have to talk about this last one, because when Grandpa Beck's company comes out with a new game, we all lean forward and we're excited to play. And Toil and Troubles is your newest game.
And it has been incredibly popular. So Toil and Troubles is a push your luck game. Your goal in this game is to collect sets of cards, either 4 of a kind or a run of 1 to 5. And you're going to do that by, on your turn, drawing cards out of the deck and placing them on the table in front of you. Now you're going to make 3 rows of cards in order. So like if I had a 5 here, I can't put it into this row because I already have a 5, so I have to add it into another row. And if I flip over a 2, I could put it next to this 5 or up in my 3rd row. And this 5 here comes out, I'm going to put it here. Your goal is to flip over as many cards as you can on your turn without busting. Now, a bust would be pulling a card that you can't play. So if I pulled out another 5 right now, there's no spot to put it, and so I don't get anything. If I stop before, then I get to choose one of those rows and take all the cards out of it, and then everyone else gets to take one of the remaining cards on the table.
So you're collecting and distributing.
Exactly.
As you
You add in some additional cards like the poison and the vanish and the cloak cards, and they add additional strategy to the game, and it'll let you do different things to your opponents.
Well, congrats. Your newest, I know, came out about a month ago, right?
Yes, it's brand new.
Fun to add to the Grandpa Beck's company collection. And where can we shop that game and all of the ones you've recommended?
So my recommendation is, first and foremost, check your local game store. They need your support. So Red Balloon Toy Stores is where I purchased a lot of these games, but there are tons of great game stores in Utah Valley and Salt Lake Valley. In addition to that, you can always find them on the company's websites, grandpabecksgames.com for ours, or on Amazon if you're needing them last minute.
Thank you. Thanks for all the fun you bring families. What a great brand to represent. And thanks for the new recommendations for the coming season and year.